You can do it better for Charles. You can do it better for Charles. Thank you very, very much. And did you know that science is a key component as far as the National Science and Maths Quiz is concerned, and the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, Ministry of Science, Environment technology, and innovation. As the overseeing sector ministry has a representative here to speak on behalf of the minister, and we have Madam Adelaide Asante. She's the Director of Science, Technology and Innovation of the ministry. Please, shall we welcome her to share a few comments with us.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the high table. Good evening, sponsors, students. Proud of you. I would just give a quick remark, and I wouldn't use a speech because I grew up with National Science and Maths quiz. I'm a science student. I was a science student, and then in terms of secondary school, I was, and then I went into the university. I'm an engineer, but I'm now practicing policy. And in policy, it's amazing as when we were watching the video, she was talking about diversifying careers in science. Who would think that an engineer, what is an engineer doing in the Ministry of Science and Technology? And of course, when you have science as a background, you are, I always give examples in meetings and conferences that science is a logic arrangement. You think logically. So when you see a scientist approaching a problem, be it a social problem, they will first draw a diagram. They may not draw it for you to see, but it's in their head. So it's this sequential diagram that they draw. So the first thing is how to solve that problem, the solution in that sequential diagram, and you get the best solution out of it. So for me, if I was to be given the opportunity, I'll say everybody should be a scientist. Not to say that you should do science and stay a doctor and engineers, but science as a basis for everything is really what takes a nation forward. I mean, you can talk about those in corporate world, those who did banking. If you have an engineer as a banker, I mean, we know of Osafo. I mean, the best finance minister we always say we've had, but he was an engineer, So for me, science is really, really something that as a country we must promote. It's sad because if you look at the statistics, and Mr. Quinn, you are here from education, for the statistics of science students versus the arts, be it at the SHS level to the university is dwindling. We don't have any more tech doing the 60-40 ratio. It's much more the other way around, where we were expected to have 60% and up of science students. We are not having that. And this is a challenge because this then goes to the level where we come in as the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology, and Innovation. We look at more the careers, the upper level, the research systems. I was just telling her that currently in University of Ghana, for example, there are only 2 professors in maths. So that means that if you want to do a PhD in mathematics, you only are having these 2 professors. And literally, they are about 50. So we have this kind of gap in terms of science careers, So it's very important that we have a program like this that keep at least a certain level of science, interest in science at the youth level. And we should continue, and I would really commend Prime Time for this, that as you are looking on into the future, let's look at how we can sustain science, that interest to the upper level. I mean, the ministry is available to discuss other models. I mean, currently we are talking together with education on establishing STEM centers. They talked about the science resource centers. Of course, we must also know that the world is changing, where you as students, the toolkits for science must be innovative. So it's no more that kind of, especially at the JHS level, that kind of reagents mixing, but you have simple tool sets that the students can easily understand why things happen that way. So we avail ourselves at the ministry for further discussion to see how we can make this initiative grow bigger, and even into the level of career, science and career, and the mentorship program bigger. Thanks.
Can we do it one more time? Can you please do it one more time? Thank you very much. I was so excited about the thing at the end. So ladies and gentlemen, you know very well that as we are speaking about CHAS supporting through the GES, then you know that this is very, very much within the ambit of the Ministry of Education. And the Honorable Minister would have been here, but he's not able to. But we do have someone who's here from the ministry who will share some thoughts as far as the association with the National Science and Maths Quiz is concerned. So please help me to welcome Mr. Andrew Queen. He's the Director of Science Education at the Ministry of Education. And he will share some thoughts with us. Please do it better to us.
Thank you. Distinguished personalities, the high table, ladies and gentlemen. I think it has all been said. STEM education, and for that matter, STEM in the nation's development is key. No nation can develop if we neglect STEM education. So, science and technology are the tools that drive economies of the world. Wealth of every nation depends greatly on how effective STEM education is. And we all know that now we are having a lot of gadgets, a lot of things are going on. It's technology. And if you be able to survive in this world, then we have to take STEM more seriously than we are doing now. As a country, we need to tap into the knowledge and skills of the people of Ghana so that we will be able to help develop the nation. STEM should help to develop a human resource by giving them the knowledge and skills that are needed so that we can develop as a nation. Several issues that we have confronting us: global warming, environmental degradation, sanitation. You go around, everything that is going on means that what it is telling us is that we need to take STEM education more serious than we have. Like has been said, in STEM education we aim at developing critical thinking amongst the students. We help them to have clear and logical examination of issues. They don't just talk about things, that it should be logical and they should be able to analyze and then come out with solutions. If you're able to do this effectively and give them the right kind of attitudes and skills, then this is how the individual should be developed, and that is what will contribute to the development of the nation. Independence has recognized the need for an aggressive science and mathematics education for the nation. We at the Ministry of Education, and for that matter the Ghana Education Service, have tried to provide science resource centers. Unfortunately, we call them science resource centers, so people are still thinking about science resource centers. But they are science labs. We have equipped them with modern gadgets for teaching and learning of science. Currently, we have been able to do about 300 out of all the senior high schools that we have. A lot of things are going on. We are trying to help equip primary schools with basic tools so that they can be able to practice what they learn in science. We are yet to start it at that level. We have a project that is currently ongoing in the secondary senior high schools where science and mathematics teaching and learning is a major thing that we are trying to help improve. All these things that we are saying that we are doing don't seem to be giving us the needed what we want, the results that we want. What we've noticed is that competitions such as science and math quiz, science fairs, Olympiads, which are all the competitions, those are the things that get the students very much interested in science, and that is what makes them learn and do very well when it comes to science and mathematics. Because after all the things that the gadgets and other things that we are putting in the schools, the downward trend in WASI results continue. It's only this year that we've seen a change, but it's slight, not as much as we want. And then, like as we said, representation in STEM courses at the universities, we expected that it should be STEM 60 and then the humanities 40. But it's the other way around. What is happening? All these efforts are not helping us get where we are. So that is why issues like the things like science and math quiz and then science fairs are key to what we are doing as science educators. We've realized that schools that do well in the science and math quiz do well WASI results in science and mathematics. Some of the schools have taken science and math quiz to a higher level by getting a lot of students to prepare towards science and math quiz. And what we've realized is that all those who prepare this way do very well. They get A's in science and mathematics. So we see that because of the interest that they generate in science and math quiz, preparing for it, it makes them do very well in WASI. So we see that science and math quiz is something that should be supported and that should be encouraged to go on. Science fairs bring out the innovation in the students because they practice what they learn and then they put it into a project, build something, create, and then innovate. We all know that in the universities, the science, when we learn science, we can go and have a lot of lectures. But when we are at the final year and you do a project, what you learn through doing that project, you look at it and you see that you have learned far more than all the lectures and all the lab sessions that you have. So we see that if you want our students to be very good scientists, to be very innovative, to be creative, then we should encourage the science fairs by helping them to come out with projects which they will exhibit at the fairs. This is what we are finding difficult to do. And that is why we are happy that Prime Time is adding science fair to the science and math space. We have tried to do it and then we have not been able to do it because of lack of funding. So, we are proud to be associated with Prime Time we always want to thank our headmasters and our headmistresses, CHAS, for sponsoring this project. We are happy that we are now getting a lot more sponsors coming on board. We wish that they will take it further and sponsor all the other curriculum enrichment activities that we are trying to put in place to help STEM education move the way we want it to move. After all, if you want to see STEM succeed, then you should look at all the other issues too. I want to congratulate all the schools that are going to participate in this year's Science and Maths quiz. I always say that for a student to even come out and participate, that is an achievement. So whether you win or you don't, for coming out and then even going on the stage, sitting there, and then all the people watching you and trying to answer questions, that is a very good, great achievement. And I wish that we will encourage all our students to participate at the, so that if the participation could be organized in such a way that the schools will always be having it, and then they select the best inter-class, inter-house, whatever, so that every student will have a taste of this, so that they will learn and then appreciate what is happening. We want to thank everybody who is involved in this year's program. We hope that you will continue to count on your support. You make it bigger so that it becomes bigger. And like we are saying, anytime we have met the West African STEM educators, and it seems that our challenges are similar. All the struggles that we are going through in Ghana, they are also going through the same thing. So I was proposing at one forum that we should always be working together in things like of this nature. So if Science and Maths quiz can go there, then it will help us to get them so that we can work together. I believe that if we work together, we have West African voice on STEM, then we can go further than going as individual countries. So I think that is something that we will encourage Prime Time to take up. At this juncture, on behalf of the Ministries of Education, Ghana Education Service, and now Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, I want to declare this 22nd edition of the National Science and Mathematics Quiz, the 2017 edition, duly launched.
Oh, I think we can do it better. I think we can do it better. This is what it's all about. And so this is where all of that contest that happens between the old students of the various schools across the years, this is where that battle begins, where we all put our weights behind our current students and support them, urge them on to bring laurels to our school. Ladies and gentlemen, just as a symbolic gesture for the launch, we'd like to invite our principal persons here to unveil the logo for 2017. That's right, so ladies and gentlemen, I believe that with collective support of all of them, we will gradually and symbolically unveil the logo for 2017 National Science and Maths Quiz. Having been duly and appropriately launched right here. Let's do it better, let's do it better, let's do it better. That's right, that's right, that's right, that's right. Please show some love, show some love, show some love. National Science and Maths Quiz 2017, duly and appropriately launched. Thank you all so very, very much. Thank you all so very, very much. Very much appreciated. Thank you very much. You can please, would have our principals please return to their seats. And we have to hear Dr. Hoffman's voice, don't we? We have to hear the face of the whole National Science and Maths Quiz. I just want to ask, just what has the experience been for you? Just a line, just one line. What has the experience been for you on a personal level?
It's been wonderful. This is my 11th year. There's so far to learn. Thank you.
You heard that. Come on, let's worth an applause. Let's worth appreciation. 11 years contributing to this, and we're so very, very grateful. So one more time, we want to appreciate and thank our sponsors, to Tigo, to Goyle, Prudential Life Insurance, Accra College of Medicine, as well as GCB Bank. I want to thank each and every one of you so very much for supporting us. I just want to run you through the program, the one-month program for the National Science and Maths Quiz. We have duly launched it today, and so as we mentioned, on Friday, the 3rd of June, all the 135 schools would gather. And then on Sunday, the 4th of June, we'll have the balloting session as well as the teachers and consultants forum. And then there will be an orientation for all of the participating students as well. Then on Monday, the 5th of June, that will be the official opening ceremony at the R.S. Amagashi Auditorium, University of Ghana Business School. And there, the first preliminary rounds would also proceed there from the 5th of June to the 10th of June. 5th to the 10th of June are the preliminary rounds for the National Science and Maths Quiz. Then on Tuesday, the 6th of June, we'll have the balloting for the 1/8 stage. The balloting for the 1/8 stage. And then that will take them through to Sunday, the 11th of June, where, as you've heard, we'll have the picnic at the Athletics Oval Lagos campus for all of the participating schools. On Monday, the 12th of June to the Wednesday, 21st of June, we'll have the 1/8 finals, again at the R.S. Amagashi Auditorium, University of Ghana Business School. Then on Thursday, 22nd June to Saturday, 24th June, we'll have the quarterfinals. On Monday, the 26th of June, we'll have the semi-finals, again as R.S. Amagashi Auditorium. And then we'll climax it all with the finals, the grand finale at the National Theatre on the 29th of June 2017, where we'll see whether Presec will do their thing one more time, or Disco would break one more time another record. Or I have to say, maybe people, John will win it again, right? So ladies and gentlemen, we've come towards the end, and we have one more important assignment. Would like to respectfully invite the chairman of Prime Time to share official appreciation, vote of thanks to each and every one of you. Can you please help me to welcome Mr. Pedro Sanders?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I was only hoping that my song was more quietly and just go away without having to speak. But I have been called by my boss. For me, it is a great sense of pride that this dream that started on the tennis courts in 1993 has grown to be what it is now. It was a small bed, a pigeon that was hopping up and down the wire. That made me ask a question. But I'd like to acknowledge somebody very special. Before I went to the tennis courts, and I had discussions. I was leaving Lentas, my old company, wondering how the future was going to be like. Then I said, we should do something that is different from ordinary advertising. Then she said, why don't you look at education? Why don't you look at doing something to help schools? And the idea of science and math was given. And I was a very poor science student. Please know that. I know people who didn't go to look at their math results when they were going to say, this is, I've forgotten what this is. I'd like here to